What's going on YouTube? This is Brooksy, and today I'm bringing you just 5 tips on how to get better on Call of Duty, or how to improve your game, really. Just 5 tips. These aren't every tip, well, everything. You know what, let's just start again. I've only chose the top 5 tips that I think are going to be the most useful in this video, and I might do another video like this because I honestly have got shitloads of tips what I want to tell everyone. But you know, if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I like to ramble on when I go about tips and stuff like that, so I thought I'd keep it to just 5 tips. And already this video is about what, nearly a minute through, and I haven't even said 1 tip, so that just says a lot about me. So anyway, this gameplay anyway, this is a nuclear gameplay by the way, and I think by now I'm on about a 14-15 kill streak, maybe a bit more. I haven't been paying attention really, but let's get on to the tips, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Right, these aren't in order of, you know, how good they are, you know, they're all equally as useful as each other. So number 1 is just as good as number 5 basically. So tip number 1, play to suit your own play style. Do not follow other people's preferred classes, as it isn't necessarily the best fit for you. And what I mean by that is, and first off, I sound a bit of a hypocrite here because I've got a few videos where I do recommend classes and stuff for people, but they are simply to help people and to, you know, just give them, you know, to try and give them a fit that suits them basically. And you know, at the end of those videos I do say this might not be the best suit for you really. And what I mean by that is, you know, you might watch one of my videos and I recommend using a reflex sight, and you might be a person that cannot use a reflex sight on any gun, so therefore, you know, I would not recommend using it obviously. But don't feel like you need to use everything you see on people's setup videos and stuff. You can adapt to it, but you might not play as well as, you know, using the stuff that you're used to using and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is, to an extent, use the classes that are recommended, but use it in your own way where you can make it your own, and obviously improve your game on the stuff that you're best using with and stuff like that. But number 2, map awareness and kill feed watching. Learn each map, and this is probably the most useful tip that I'm going to give you today in this video. And it's only recently in the last 2 Call of Duties where I've actually done this, and honest to God, my game has improved so much after learning each map and spawn points and stuff. And you know, not many people know this, but, or not many people use this technique, but kill feed watching. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're going to push a spawn and you notice your teammates just got, you know, a triple feed or something, at the spawn you're going to push, you know, then there's going to be at least 3 enemies spawning at that spawn obviously. So it's a useful technique to use, and if you can follow the kill feed like quite fast and multitask by doing it, and there's the nuclear right there. But if you can learn to do that at the same time as watching the mini map and the kill feed, and also, you know, the main visual, then you'll notice that you are tend to die a lot less, and you can build your nuclear streaks a lot more and easier. So kill feed watching is something I really recommend doing. And map awareness, and what I mean by that is what I've just said really, just on the mini map. Always keep an eye on your mini map. If you can learn to like third eye the mini map at the same time as playing, then that's just so much more useful. Learn each map, and what I mean by that is watch videos on YouTube or watch how other people play. Just learn each spawns and when the spawns are actually going to come into play. Like, you don't want to go pushing a spawn and then the enemies are spawning at the other end of the map, because, you know, then you're going to have to track back, run all the way back around just to get those kills, and by the time you get there your teammates have already picked them off. So you've got to learn to know when to push, know when to push the spawns, and know when not to push basically. And that is number 2. Number 3, gradually use better score streaks, or stick to ones you can get frequently. And as you'll see right here, I'm using my recommended score streaks for getting nuclear streaks. And you know, a lot of people would think, you know, use swarms and stuff like that, because obviously the swarm and dogs and warthogs and stuff like that are all appealing for everyone really, because you know you'll rack up a massive amount of kills. But what people don't really tend to do is go for the lower score streaks, because they are just as good really, and you do tend to get them a lot more, obviously because they are lower and they are quicker to get. But they do come more in handy, especially the UAV, as that is probably the most overpowered score streak in every Call of Duty, the UAV. Just because if you can keep a constant UAV, then you know you may as well have a VSAT for the whole game. And so yeah, that's just that tip. Gradually use better score streaks. Don't start off using swarms and stuff if you can never get them, because it's just basically a waste, and you tend to lose about 2,000 to 4,000 score a game if you're not getting your score streaks enough. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, watch how the pros play or other YouTubers, aka Twitch TV. And I've been watching Twitch TV for like the past 4 or 5 months, or since Black Ops 2 came out really, and that was just so I could get the edge over people online or in a competitive matches really, just so I know what is the latest techniques on each map, what are the latest spawns and the best guns to use. Yeah, so if you watch out, like, you know, the best people of Call of Duty play, then you can use what they use in that particular area to your own advantage. Like, if you find yourself in a spot where, especially on Search and Destroy, by the way, if you find yourself stuck in a situation where you've got a few people around you and you're on a score streak, and you've seen, you know, someone you like watching in that like situation themselves, and seeing how they react and how they play and think, then you know you can use that to your advantage, because it gives you that bit of experience without having to play yourself. And if you are watching, you know, pros play, then that is probably the best way to learn each map, which was tip number 2. Tip number 5, and this will be the last one today, and the game's just ended, so I'm going to have to throw something on the end of this, or either rewind it back a bit. But tip number 5, play with confidence and try not to rage too much. Most of Call of Duty is based on psychology, so if your head isn't really in the best place, then it's best not to expect to do well. And what I mean by this is, if you go into a game, or if you judge the game lobby by the prestige masters and you think, oh this is going to be a shit game, I'm not going to do well here, and then you'll be surprised if you actually do well, and you probably would have done better if you had the better mindset going into the game. So what I mean by that is, when you are not confident in yourself, or when you're not really playing too well, you don't tend to, you know, challenge gunfights as more. You tend to sit back a bit more. You tend to try and go for your score streaks because you're not, you know, playing particularly well. So you'll find yourself getting a lot less kills, a lot less score, and you know your confidence will go down a bit. And you'll find once you do get, you know, a triple feed, a quad feed, that your confidence goes right up, and for the whole of that game, then you are challenging more gunfights, and you do a lot better. So if you can get in the right mindset and play with confidence a lot more, then obviously it's going to improve your game by a lot. And what I mean by most of Call of Duty is based on psychology is, you know, when you're on a one-on-one with anybody, it's basically who's got the best poker face. And especially if there's head glitches in the way, then, or a wall where, you know, they're going to circle around, then it's best if you know, put yourself into their shoes and think what they're going to do and be 2 steps ahead of your enemies every single time. And that way you will win each gunfight with ease. So, I think this video is a bit too long, so I'm going to end this right now. And if you think these tips have helped, then leave the video a like. I honestly think these will be the best tips you will ever hear at this point of the game. And this is not being big-headed, but they're just the tips that I use to do well and I use to improve each and every day. So if you liked the video, leave a like. Hope you enjoyed the video and the gameplay. And I think that's everything. Sorry for rambling on in particular areas. But until the next video, I'll see you next time.